Hey foodies, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to make an angel food cake, a gluten-free angel food cake fit for an angel. It's so light, it's fluffy, it's wonderful. So let's get right into it. So you want to start by sifting your flour and half of your sugar into a bowl. And this is to make sure that there's no lumps at all in what we're going to be adding into our cake. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside. Now we've got a big task ahead of us. It's a dozen eggs. We need to take all the egg yolks and put them in one bowl and all the egg whites in another. The egg yolks we're not going to use in this recipe. We can use in another recipe, but we need 1.5 cups of egg white. Okay, so I'm going to grab another bowl. There we go. And I'm just going to slowly mix this up. Okay, there's one. Okay, so I've got my egg whites all done. I'm going to set my egg yolks aside. And that turned out to be exactly the right number of eggs to make 1.5 cups. I'm going to put this into my mixer. And this is where having a stand mixer or hand mixer with electric, like an electric hand mixer, is really key because you're going to be at this for quite a while otherwise. So we're going to put our whisk attachment in, and I'm going to put in a little bit of salt. And we're just going to turn this on high and we're going to whisk it until we get stiff peaks. Let's take a look. It's looking pretty close. Let's see. I think we've got stiff peaks. That's amazing. That's great. Okay, so we're going to slowly put in our sugar. And I'm going to put it in about a couple tablespoons at a time and just let it really mix in. So I'm going to put it back up. Okay, this meringue looks beautiful. I'm just going to scrape down the sides ever so gently. I don't want to collapse any of the air because this is what's going to give it so much body. Okay, so I just taken it off a little bit of the sides. My sugar, as I slowly added it, tablespoon by tablespoon over a period of about 2 minutes, it just stuck to the sides just a little bit, which is okay. I just scraped it off and I'm just going to let it blend in. So now I'm going to just slowly mix the vanilla in. Oh my goodness, this looks absolutely divine. You can see the little black specks from the vanilla bean, from the vanilla that I've got in there. That's amazing. And look at those peaks. That's a beautiful stiff peak. So I'm going to just shake this off. Or use this to take it out. Because now we're just going to be folding in the flour. Okay, oh my goodness, it's so stiff. Okay, so I'm going to just add the flour and the sugar mixture a little bit at a time, and I'm just going to fold it in just until it's incorporated. So I don't get little clouds of flour blowing up in my face. Okay, so let's add a little bit more of the flour. Okay. I'm making sure to take extra care not to deflate the egg whites too much. And the last little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to mix this in. Okay, that looks really good. So next we want to take our tube pan, and if you have a removable bottom, which is great, you don't have to put parchment paper on the bottom, but if you do not have a removable bottom, I recommend putting parchment paper in, otherwise it's just gonna stick. And you don't want to grease the walls at all because you want the egg white to stick, and that's gonna help hold it up. and get that really airy fluffiness. So we're gonna slowly scoop this in. Okay. Oh, it's looking great. And then we're just going to try and smooth it out as best we can. Oh, this looks amazing. Okay, so now we want to just put this in the oven at 375 degrees for between 30 and 35 minutes, or until the top just lightly springs back. So we'll check it out. Here we go. Oh, this looks great. Look at this so far. So it's got a good spring to it. So what you want to do, now that it's been baked for 30 minutes or 35 minutes, mine took 35, is we're going to flip it upside down and let it cool for 2 to 2.5 hours. You just want to leave it there. And the reason why you cool it upside down is so that it doesn't collapse and compress itself. You want to let it stay nice and airy and fluffy. So in 2.5 hours, we're going to open it up and see what it looks like. See you in a minute. So it's been about 2.5, 3 hours since I pulled this out of the oven. It is cold to the touch, which is great. I haven't even flipped it over to look at it yet. I'm excited. Hopefully it hasn't collapsed on me this time. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. That looks amazing. Okay, so we have to carefully cut around the perimeter of both the inside, and you can see it's super fluffy. Okay, and then we're going to go along here, and you can see just how much it really did stick. A couple spots there. Okay. Always makes me nervous. Is it gonna? Oh. That looks great so far. Okay, so we need to cut the bottom. So we're just gonna run a knife along the bottom here. And just separate that. So you can definitely see that if you didn't have a removable bottom, it would have stuck like glue and you never would have gotten it out. You would have been scooping it with a spoon, which still would have tasted really good. But anyway, we need a large plate for this. Okay. And I'm going to flip that over. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. It's just nice and springy. It's exactly what you want of an angel food cake. Okay. So, let's tuck that away. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to make some whipped cream as our topping. So I've got 2 cups of 35% whipped cream. Okay. And I'm going to start whipping this up. It'll take a couple minutes. Okay, so my whipped cream is about halfway there. I'm going to start sweetening it. I've added a little bit of maple sugar here. You can use white sugar, but I love the flavor of maple sugar. It's so nice. Okay, so I'm going to scrape down the sides. Okay. There we go. Gotta try it. I think that's pretty good. You could use a little bit more maple sugar. That's why I didn't put it all in. I mean, the recipe calls for a ½ cup of sugar, but you never know if you don't want it super sweet or if you want it a little sweeter. I like going a little bit less, and then, because you can always add, you can't take it out. Okay, let's see how this whipped cream looks. Oh, it's beautiful looking. Oh, it smells divine. Okay, so I'm gonna scrape the sides, just make sure we've got everything Now you can either use a spatula or an offset knife, whichever you like. And you're just gonna spread it on to the cake. Like so. Wow, that's got a lot of spring to it. Wow! Okay, so let's start with that. And then just slowly, and I'm not gonna be too decorative here, I'm just gonna, I like doing little swirls on the top. Give it a real rustic feel. A little bit on the inside of that hole there. Okay, and then we're going to do a little bit on the outside. I think I will switch to the offset. And you can see it just, it helps finish it. That looks amazing. So now we need to do a little garnish. So I'm going to put a little bit of shredded chocolate on top. I just took a chocolate bar and took it through the cheese grater and grated it down. Adds little fine bits of chocolate on there. Because who doesn't love chocolate? Okay. And how about a few raspberries? So one on either side, just like so, and then we'll go in between each spot. I mean, that looks fit for, well, an angel, really. And I can't wait to cut into this. So we're gonna grab our knife, and we're gonna slice, and we wanna use a sawing motion. If you press down too much, you're going to squish the life out of it. So you can use a serrated knife, which is probably better than this straight edge. But I'm using a straight edge. And I'm going to cut a nice big slice. You go nice and gentle when you're slicing into it. And then we're going to get our plate. Oh, look at how fluffy that is. That's amazing. Okay. Oh, it smells really good. Okay, so I'm gonna try a piece of just the cake and then I'll try it with the whipped cream because, well, you have to try it with the whipped cream. There's a lot of spring to it. It's got a real nice flavor of vanilla and it's very subtle. It's a little bit chewy. It's really, really quite nice. Okay, now I'm gonna try it with the whipped cream. Oh my god. That maple sugar in the whipped cream is so good. And the crunch from the top of the cake is really, really, really pleasant. I really like it. I wonder, have you ever made an angel food cake? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading all of your comments. Thanks for watching.